Activity, you're going to design a lock to a secret room using a magnet and its properties. Imagine you have a secret room that you want to keep someone out of, maybe a sibling. Looking at the door to your room, they won't have any idea how to get inside. You see, the door will be locked and there's no place for a key. But you are going to have a special key, a magnet key, that will let you unlock the door. Your magnet key will work through the door to unlock the lock on the other side. Now, rather than creating a real door, today you'll be working with a model of a door made from paper. Your job will be to design a lock that you think works best. Now, don't worry about finding the one perfect idea. That's the fun part about coming up with your own design. There's always more than one way to solve a problem. You'll get to test a few different designs to see what works and what doesn't. I'll show you how to get started, step by step. To start with, you'll want to make a paper door. Get these materials. You'll get more supplies later. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right. Fold the piece of cardstock paper in half and make sure you line up the edges. Then, crease the fold by running your fingernail over it like this. Make a small fold at one end of the cardstock paper like this. Crease it with your fingernail. Then, unfold everything when you're done.
Remember, you can pause this video anytime you need to, so you can catch up if you're behind.
Rotate your sheet like this so that the side without folds is facing you. Then, put your sticky note at the bottom of the page. Line up the edges with the bottom of the paper like this. This is where you'll put your door. Trace the top and left side of the sticky note like this. Then remove the sticky note and cut on the lines. Fold the flap to make a door. Be careful to line up the bottom edge before folding. Make two tiny cuts on the edge of the door, like this. Then, fold it over to create a handle, like this. Choose something to write on your door so that you'll always know which side of the door is the front. Don't spend too long on it, just take 30 seconds or so. I'll start a timer. Go ahead and think about something to write and write it now. Before we build a lock, let's observe how different locks work. This is a sliding lock. How does it keep a door closed? Discuss the different parts and how they help the lock work. Look at this other kind of lock on the left. It's called a turning lock. How does this lock work differently from a sliding lock on the right? And do you see any similarities? Here's what we noticed. A sliding lock works by having a bar slide from one side of the door and go into something attached to the wall. With these parts connected, the door is locked. When you slide it back, the door opens. A turning lock has an arm that moves in a circle around a point on the door. When the arm turns, it catches onto the part of the lock attached to the wall. Then the door is locked. When you turn it back, it's unlocked. The door can open. Okay, now that you've observed a bit about locks, go to the next step. Get your lock building materials.
Okay, I want to point something out. This says 1 sheet of stickers. You need to get tape. So just find some Scotch tape or any kind of tape that you can get your hands on. You should have your magnet, you should have your paper clip, you should have your paper fastener, and you should have your 2 index cards.
Before you design a lock, you need to test which materials are magnetic. How could you test which materials are magnetic? We'll show you an idea we came up with in the next step. Here's how we tested which materials are attracted by a magnet. We moved a magnet underneath each object, with the object placed on top of the cardstock like this. You can try it too. What happens?
So try your paper fastener, your paper clip.
You probably noticed that the magnet can move the paperclip and the brad, but not anything else. You need to figure out how to move a piece of paper using a magnet. What could you do? Discuss and try out some ideas. Here's a hint. You can use other materials to help you. Here's what we figured out. Behold the amazing power of magnets. This note card is being moved using a magnet underneath. Do you get why? The secret is in the paperclip that we attached to the note card. It's magnetic, so now when the magnet moves the paperclip, the note card moves too. Now that you've figured this out, you're ready to try designing a lock. Go to the next step. It's time to experiment. Try to make a magnetic version of a lock using only your materials. Remember, your lock should hold the door closed and only open with a magnet from the other side. If you get really stuck as you work on this, you can go to the next slide for help. But try for at least a few minutes without any help from us.
So pause the video and try and figure this out on your own for at least 2 minutes.
Here are some more tips and inspiration. In most locks, one side of the lock is on the door and one side is on the wall. Again, part is on the door and part is on the wall. And there's some kind of bar that moves between them. Try building your lock like that, with one part on the door and one part on the wall. You don't have to make your lock look exactly like these. These are just suggestions. You can create any kind of lock you want. If it's helpful, you can try drawing your ideas on paper before building anything. Have fun. When you're done designing a lock, go to the next slide for instructions on how to test it. Make your doors stand up. See if a partner can unlock it with a magnet. Take turns trying to unlock each other's doors. When you're done, go to the next slide to watch the final video.